Hey guys, it's Dr. Brent Boldesar here. I have a special guest for you today. It's the author of The Maker's Diet. He sold 1.6 million copies. He's got over a dozen top sellers to his name. It's Dr. Jordan Rubin. I'm more than excited to have a sit-down interview, and I'm thrilled to death that he agreed to do this with us. So without further ado, Dr. Jordan Rubin, I'd like you to introduce yourself.
It's great to be here. I am very passionate about transforming the health of this nation and world one life at a time, but like many, I started out of my own tragedy, my own trial. I was deathly ill about 15 years ago. I had Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic fatigue syndrome, fungal, bacterial, viral infections, and I went into a wheelchair. I was 20 years of age, down to 104 pounds, and I'm almost 6'1".
Wow. I remember seeing this picture. When I first saw Patient Heal Thyself, and there's that picture of you who doesn't even look like any remotely close to you, and then you, is that a 4-month difference?
It was actually 3 months, but when I found the answer, and I knew this was going to happen, I went to 69 medical experts, traveled the world, I tried conventional medicine. Now, I have an upbringing with chiropractic, naturopathy, so we didn't believe in pharmaceuticals and surgery, but I was so sick I had no choice. Medicine failed. Natural cures failed. 69 medical experts came and went. One told me after the end of a 2-year struggle, I call it a living hell, that I was trapped in my own body that was a prison. He told me if I follow a health plan based on the Bible, proven through history and confirmed by science, I can be well. Something told me that this illness was not just about me, that God doesn't waste my pain, and I flew to California in a wheelchair to live with a man I never met, following principles I never learned. And in 40 days, what I'd later call the Maker's Diet 40-day health experience, I went from death to life, and I've been sharing the message ever since.
It's incredible. It really is incredible. I don't know if you know much about my story, but I was paralyzed on the football field at 21.
Wow.
So, I thought that God had a plan for me going down one path, and all of a sudden, what turned out, which I thought was a tragic day, turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. When I read your story and read, your first couple of books, what really struck me is at what point did you say that I have a bigger purpose here? I have a bigger message here. What did that feel like, and how did you get motivated to kind of move into the direction you're going now?
Well, being a similar age as you when tragedy struck, I was 19 years of age, and I'd always remember reading and believing that God had plans for my life, plans to prosper me and not to harm me, to give me a future and a hope. And here I am sitting in a wheelchair, deathly ill, being told by doctors I'm incurable, being told by WebMD that I'll have this list of surgeries, medications, side effects. My friends didn't come around anymore. My family was broken. So it was a challenge. But I remember thinking, okay, I'm an immortal teenager. Now I'm not. I can't be the only one suffering. There's got to be people out there suffering. And I thought, God doesn't waste our pain. And if He will get me out of this, if I can be well, I'm going to spend the rest of my life telling other people how to avoid disease or overcome it. And so it was really, I had no other choice. I mean, I knew I was sick. Whatever helped me was going to get out there. But I'm so glad it's something that anybody could follow, as opposed to the gadgets, gizmos, potions that I tried, because desperate times do require desperate measures.
This is my wife, Angela Baldessar, and you opened up, kind of Pandora's box here. You said
stole one of my lines.
Yeah, you stole one of her lines.
No, yours is better. I like that. You pay the farm now or the
pharmacy later.
So what you said is, you're thinking about, part of what Beyond Organic is about is the stay-at-home mom. Not that you're stay-at-home, I know you do a lot of work too. Homeschool, prepares the meals. Family is number one in your life. So I figured it'd be a good idea to have one of those demographic here to ask you some questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess one of my questions is for some of the moms out there whose children may not have been raised by as health conscious of parents as we are, who aren't doing raw almond butter sandwiches on Ezekiel bread in their kids' lunches, who are packing fruit roll-ups or things like that, who say, my kids aren't going to eat fermented beverages or raw cheeses, or they won't eat that way. What do you say to those moms?
Well, it's a great question. When we were developing, for example, Suero Vive, which is our cultured beverage / performance drink, we actually did a taste test with ages 8 to 70, and really just me in the taste test were, I'll eat anything as long as it's healthy, and they really loved it. I mean, the Beyond Organic foods, now granted, the sour taste is missing from our diet today, so many children don't know how to process that, but I promise you, you take our Amasi that's either raspberry or milk and honey, put it in an ice cube tray, put some toothpicks in. We call them Amasicals, but I promise you, any kid will love them. We've got our Beyond Organic chocolate, which is amazing, and most children already like cheese and beef. Our cheese that's raw doesn't taste strange, it tastes amazing. What's strange is getting a kid to consume rice cheese or soy cheese that is imitation and kind of put together like a polymer. So I do think that kids in this generation, whatever they call the millennial generation, will grow up never eating fish, not even knowing what lamb is, much less consuming it. Green vegetables are not part of the menu, so it can be difficult, but part of Beyond Organic is education with recipes and how to put meals together. I make ice cream for my kids almost every night, and every one of them asks for it. It tastes amazing. Now, if you're used to eating junk ice cream, it may not taste exactly the same, but I have seen kids convert very quickly as long as they're getting the healthy proteins and fats. Taking a child and putting them on a vegan diet, especially a raw vegan diet, really difficult because they're just not used to eating those food groups. But I promise you that any mom who endeavors to live Beyond Organic, allow us to educate you through our books, our online university called Beyond Organic University, our online community, and I think you'll find that kids, and of course husband, which is really tough for moms, most, not you, I think that everyone's going to love the food because it's real.
Okay, so they're still going to be able to make their Friday night spaghetti or their whatever.
Oh, absolutely. As long as it's spelled angel hair pasta.
Right.
As you know.
Okay, they're going to be able to replace it with healthier options.
I mean, just an example, so many people avoid red meat and do turkey meatloaf, and ground turkey's fine, but why? I mean, it doesn't taste the same. So when you do our meatloaf, our green-fed meatloaf recipe, when you do our pasta and meat sauce, it's amazing. Tacos, fajitas, whatever you want to do, that's why it's so utilitarian. And our hot dogs, people say, hot dogs, don't they use all kinds of weird parts of the animal? Our hot dogs, you might be getting ribeye hot dog, tenderloin hot dog, New York strip. Right now, we put the best of the best in everything we do. So I really think that there is something in Beyond Organic for everyone. And I think a lot of people are going to move to new boundaries in terms of their diets, and they're going to say, why wasn't I doing this all along?
It feels great to have raised kids that way. Our kids are the same thing, have come home from their school with, you know, I had a huge fight with Casey because he thinks Sunny D is good for you, and, you know, whatever else. And the teachers are always interested to look in my kids' lunch boxes to see what's in their lunchbox.
I see a future there for your son.
What do you say to the parents who say, you know, well, 2 years ago we switched to organic milk because we heard the hormones were, you know, making the kids start puberty early, and, you know, we're having all these things, and then we threw out everything with red dye in it because we heard it causes cancer, and I've just, you know, you can't win for losing. I give up. You know, every time I switch something or change something, then I hear it's wrong and I'm not doing enough and I'm not. What do you say to the moms who've just thrown their hands up and say, you know, I was raised on Spam and Coca-Cola and I'm okay, my kids will be fine too?
Yeah, okay. If you look at the statistics, we're not okay. I mean, when I married Nikki, she's from Kentucky, and so she thought she was eating healthy because she only ate fried foods occasionally or very rarely, and when she ate Twizzlers, it was in her closet. She's going to kill me when this gets on, by the way. But I remember she had a birthday, and we were just dating, or even friends at the time, and they said, bring Twizzlers and grits with sugar, because those are the things she likes to eat occasionally. But you know what? She didn't drink sodas. She didn't eat fried fast food, so she felt like she was healthy. And I made a comment to her. I said, Nikki, isn't it amazing how many people are sick? You know, after my testimony, you attract people that have health challenges. She said, Jordan, I don't know anyone who's sick. Talk to her today. You name a family of 4 that there's not 3 diseases within that family, or one person on a dozen medications. And so, you know, if someone's thrown their hands up and they say, my grandmother ate this, my mom ate this, I eat this, I'm fine. Bottom line is they're not going to be fine unless they adhere to healthy principles. And at some point, you got to shake the dust off your feet and move on. But I believe everybody I talk to, if you peel the onion back enough layers, they want this for their family. And then when you say, well, not only that, if you share this message, you can get your food for free, then all of a sudden, hey, this is great because I could go and decrease our grocery bill. I mean, you made a joke, Dr. Brent, about the $500 bill from the health food store. You never, it's funny, when I shop at a large health food grocery, I spend, it's always $289, and I make most of my own food. I leave there happy. I mean, I'm happy that I spent the money. I know it sounds crazy, but I know that I'm doing something better for my family. But there are families where there's a division. The mom wants to do this. The dad has nothing to do with his children's health, doesn't care, and is actually, you know, a little bit against her spending all that money when she could be spending less. This is an opportunity for stay-at-home moms or moms that work to consume the foods, share the message, and say, hey honey, I reduced our food bill by doing Beyond Organic. And what's at stake for me is, I believe, lives. I mean, I have, since I started Garden of Life, since I started sharing my message with my before and after picture, I've been so blessed to meet champions. Now, Dr. Brent, we talked about sports off the air, and I love sports, and I'm probably a victim of placing too much emphasis on American sports like most of us do. I'm a fan, I'm a coach now of my children, but I meet champions each and every day that have gone through more and have more to offer than Tom Brady or Drew Brees or, you know, name the Olympian or professional athlete. I meet, for example, a 12-year-old's name is Massimo. I met him in Denver, and his dad said Massimo wanted to meet you. He was a kid who was great in sports, great in school, got diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, had to quit school, stop playing sports, and he made the decision when to choose to go on a diet that was healthy versus what the doctor was telling him. He read the Maker's Diet, encouraged his family to eat that way, and he stood before me, leading goal scorer on his soccer team, back in school, and he's a champion. He went against the nature that is kind of bred into kids today with pizza, all the junk food you can consume. By the way, my kids eat pizza. It's just on sprouted whole grain bread with you know, raw cheese and organic tomato sauce, and it's awesome. I can't even eat pizza anywhere else. But these are the champions that I meet, and so it's not, there's nothing at stake for doing this for me. There's everything at stake for not doing it. And believe me, I could give you all the reasons why opposition is great. I can tell you that conversations with the federal government where they say organic doesn't matter, omega-3 fats don't have any benefit on your kids, but those same people, did they not say cigarette smoke was fine? And all of our grandparents smoked while, you know, their children were being carried. So I think what's at stake if we don't start and carry this movement on is our very future. I don't know how many generations can we have where our children don't outlive us. As parents, and I'm a young parent, my oldest is 7, there is nothing that I can do or say or be that holds a candle to when my child does it. If my son goes up and is the lead in a play, it doesn't matter how many plays I've been in, how many seminars I've done, if he gets a 3-yard run in football, it's like I'm alive. When my daughter dances, when my little son jumps up and down and just, you know, this is what we have here, but we're losing it. And I'm not, for one, going to be part of this experiment to see us lose our future. And ultimately what's at stake here is our future.
That's wonderful. Well, I want to finish up with just one last kind of comment and give you some closing remarks here. You know, people have all kinds of information on the internet. People hearing some things from their friends, from their doctors. What would you want to add to this conversation for somebody who's watching this, who may be thinking about trying, you know, an organic lifestyle? What would your thoughts be, or what would your words of wisdom to be for them to just let them know it's worth it?
Well, I want to encourage them to click on the link that'll be on the screen. We have created a 7+ minute video called Everyone Eats. It's very educational. It encapsulates the Beyond Organic vision, mission, and how to get started in a short period of time. What's great is you can also send it, you can paste it on your Facebook, you can tweet it, all those good things. And I want you to sit there with no distractions, with an open mind, and see as the images and the text and the words appear, if it doesn't appeal to you to get back to your roots. You know, all of us in America are not separated by more than 3 generations from farming. We're losing that. Who in your life are you responsible for? Who needs you to be healthy and strong? You see, when I talk to people about changing your diet, changing your life, and changing your world, it's not just for you, it's for them. And if you call on the name of the Lord, it's for Him.
Jordan, I appreciate the time today. It was a total pleasure meeting you today.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.